Improvement cuts are made to enhance the growth of desirable trees by removing or weeding out the undesirable trees. The released desirable trees are healthier and more vigorous, more insect and disease resistant, grow faster, and produce the intended landowner benefits. Depending upon the size of the trees, these cuts may or may not produce a saleable product. Two types of improvement cuts applicable to Missouri's forests are timber stand improvement and crop tree release. Sometimes these phrases are used interchangeably, as you will notice when we visit some of our landowners. But the end result is the same: more room for the good trees to grow. These improvement cuts can be practiced in any size forest stand, but the greatest response will be realized in either sapling stands, whose average size is less than 5 inches diameter at breast height, or pole-size stands that average 5 to 10 inches in diameter. Think of timber stand improvement as thinning from below. This practice tends to be conservative because one is focusing on removing the worst of the undesirable trees first and then working up the ladder. As a result, the more desirable trees still have a good bit of competition around them. Because it is conservative in the number of trees removed, it is a good approach for the first-time woodland owner. Characteristics that make a tree a good candidate for removal include low-value species, stems with low forks or crooks, fire scars, swellings or bumps on the trunk, and wide-spreading trees with excessive limbs. Think of crop tree release as crown thinning or thinning from above. This practice focuses one's effort on the best trees in the stand. It pays more attention to managing tree canopies. So just what are crop trees? Crop trees are trees that produce or have the potential to produce your desired benefit. If, for example, improved deer or turkey habitat is desired, a large crowned white oak tree that produces abundant acorns would be a valuable crop tree. If increased economic value is an important ownership objective, a 14-inch diameter black walnut tree with a straight, defect-free trunk and healthy crown would be a valuable crop tree. On the other hand, if fall color and spring maple syrup were important objectives, a group of sugar maple trees might all be potential crop trees. Since the focus is on maximizing growing space around each crop tree, it can result in a pretty heavy cut. From an aesthetics point of view, if you want your woodland to have a dense forest look and feel that releasing all of your crop trees may result in an unacceptable visual effect, release fewer crop trees. It's far more desirable to have a complete release of fewer trees than a partial release of more trees. Research has shown that partially released trees grow at a much slower rate than completely released trees. And in just a few short years, the crowns of the crop trees will expand to lessen any negative visual effect. Then you can release another group of crop trees. The intensity of this practice, differing objectives from stand to stand, and the fact that no two woodlands are the same are three good reasons why you might want to initially seek professional help. If you own 10 acres and only intend to release 3 or 4 mass-producing trees per acre for deer and turkey, then you may need to do little more than walk over your property and select trees based on acorn production. But if you own 50 acres and wish to release 20 to 30 crop trees per acre to favor timber production and wildlife habitat, you may need a fairly detailed inventory to determine the number of suitable crop trees, identify their location, evaluate their potential response to release, and indicate how many trees need to be removed to release those crop trees. Also, if the trees to be removed are merchantable and the removal is to be a commercial sale, some form of formal inventory will be desirable for marketing purposes. Now you definitely need the assistance of a trained and experienced professional. It is often a good idea the first time you perform a crop tree release to visually identify both your crop trees and those trees to be removed by placing a ribbon around the trunk of the trees. You could use blue flagging for your crop trees and red flagging for the trees to be removed. Evaluating the visual impact before cutting will allow for adjustments if the anticipated results are not what you expected. The old carpenter's rule, measure twice, cut once, is a good rule to follow, especially in the forest. Trees to be removed are those individuals whose crowns touch the sides or overtop the crowns of the crop trees. Trees whose crowns are below those of the crop tree's crowns do not provide competition and are usually not removed or deadened. Ideally, a crop tree should be released from competing crowns on all four sides. Occasionally, two crop trees will be so close to one another that both trees cannot be released on all sides. If the decision is made to keep both trees, each tree can be released on three sides and their crowns allowed to touch. In general, younger stands will require more crop trees to be released. This is because not every crop tree will survive until the stand reaches maturity, and we need to hedge our bets just a little.